Hello there, and then welcome to a brand new video. This is Hub Beyond Numbers, where we learn maths the easy way. Now, in this video, I'm looking at a past question on sets and operation on sets. Specifically, it relates to Venn diagram, as you see on your screen. So, without much ado, let's quickly look into it. It says there are 20 students in a hostel. 16 of them are fluent in French, and 10 of them are fluent in English. Each student is fluent in at least one of the two languages. Illustrate this information on the Venn diagram. And then the second one says how many students are fluent in both English and French. Now, to solve this question, let's, as I always do, try and then write out our parameters. You see, what have you been given in the question that is going to help you or to solve your question. So then to write out our parameters, we have to use some variables. So I'm going to start by saying we should let U be the total number of students. You see, then with that, I'm going to let F be the students who are fluent in French. And then E is then going to be student fluent in what? English. You see. So with that, we can then see that the number of students, the total number of students is what? 20. So you put out 20 over here. And then the number of students who are fluent in French, as we have said, is F, is what? 16. Now the number of students fluent in English is then what? 10. So you write a 10. Then it says each student is fluent in at least one of the two subjects. Now I've said that if you see this statement here, then what it is trying to tell you is that the complement has no element. That is E union F complement is 0. There's nothing there. And we've also said that if it is 0, then it simply means that the union of E and then F is equal to what? The total number of students. You see that? So now that we have this, we can do our representation on the Venn diagram. So with the Venn diagram, we are going to need two circles. You see? So I'm going to get my two circles, one for English and then the other for French. And then my square or rectangle, which is going to represent my universal set. Okay. So this is mine over here. You can also take your time to draw yours. Now, after it has been drawn, you now fill in all that you need to. So we come and then say the n of u, that is the universal set, is what? 20. You see? Then f, so the n of f is equal to 16, as we have seen here. And then the n of the cardinality of English is equal to 10. You see? Then we now come to our intersection. So since we weren't given the intersection in the question, we would have to represent that with a variable. So we come and say, we let n of E intersection F be any variable at all. So let's make it y. Then I can now put my y in here and then put 16 minus y here and then 10 minus y over here. We are putting minus y because we know that this whole circle is the 16. So if this whole circle is the 16 and we have already picked out y as the intersection, then the remaining here is going to be 16 minus y. And then what we have here is going to be 10 minus y because the whole of this circle is 10. You see? So now that you are done with your Venn diagram, that is the answer to the I. Let's see how we are going to answer the second part of the question, which says, how many students are fluent in both English and French? So for the number of students that are fluent in both English and French, we need to write an equation. You see, we represented that with y. That is E intersection F. So we need an equation in terms of y to be able to solve. Then earlier on, we said the universal set is equal to what? The union of the two sets. That is taking this clue. Each student is fluent in at least one of the two languages. You see, so we took that from that. So we come and say that using our formula, we say the number of students who are fluent in French plus the number of students fluent in English minus their intersection. So E intersection F is equal to our universal set. And as I've said earlier on, if you want more insight into the tutorial of this formula and then all this we are doing in here, you can look at the beginning of the playlist and you would realize I've taught all of that. Now, substituting our values, we know the number of students fluent in French was 16. So 16 plus number of students fluent in English, 10. Then minus the intersection, which we have said to be our y. So minus y is equal to the total number of students, which was 20. At this point, it's about making your y the subject. So making y the subject, you are going to get your 26. That is 16 plus 10. Then minus y is equal to 20. Then making y the subject, we have 26 minus 20 is equal to y. 26 minus 20 gives us a 6. You see? So we have our y being equal to 6. So this implies that the number of students fluent in both English and then French is what? 6. As simple as that. So that ends this tutorial session. And as usual, here are some questions you can try on your own. So you have just 3 questions that are all related to what we have just solved over here. So you can always go over this question we have solved and then come back here to see if you'll be able to solve them. This Have Beyond Numbers where we learn maths the easy way. You can always choose to subscribe. That is if you so do wish. So that anytime I release a maths related content, you'll be notified as well. See you in our next lesson and then stay blessed. Bye for now.